Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce my group's member. My name is Dwi Kuratu Aini, NIM 2421064, and my friends Husnul Hadirah, NIM 2421049, and my friends Siddiq Nur Hasanah, NIM 2421070.
Chapter 1: Economic Principles of Islam. Islam has laid down some principles and prescribed certain limits for the economic activity of man so that the entire pattern of production, exchange, and distribution of wealth may conform to the Islamic standard of justice and equity. Islam does not concern itself with time-bound methods and techniques of economic production or with the details of the organizational pattern and mechanisms. Such methods are specific for every age and are evolved in the needs and requirements of the community and exigencies of the economic situation. What Islam aims is that whatever be the form of mechanism of economic activity, the principles prescribed by it should find a permanent and paramount place in such activities, circumstances, and in all ages. According to the Islamic point of view, God has created for mankind the earth and all that it contains. It is, therefore, the birthright of every human being to try and secure his share out of the world. All men enjoy this right equally and none can be deprived of it, nor should one man get precedence over another. From the standpoint of Islam, here can be no bar on any individual, race, or class for taking to certain means of livelihood or adopting certain professions. All are entitled to equal opportunities in the economic realm. Similarly, no distinction is valid in Islam which would result in creating a monopoly of a particular means of livelihood for a particular person, class, race, or group of people. It is the right of all men to strive and get their share of the means of sustenance provided by God on the earth. Islam ensures that this effort should be made in the context of equal opportunities and fair chances for all. Resources which are provided by nature free of cost, and which can be used directly by man, may be utilized freely, and everyone is entitled to benefit from them to the extent of his needs. Water flowing in the rivers and springs, wood in the forest trees, fruits of wild plants, wild grass and fodder, air, animals of the jungle, minerals under the 86th surface of the earth and similar other resources cannot be monopolized by anyone, nor can a restriction of any sort be imposed on their free use by God's creatures to fulfill their own needs. Of course, people who want to use any one of these things for commercial purposes can be required to pay taxes to the state, or if there is a misuse of the resources, the government may step in and set the things right. But there is no bar on the individuals to avail of God's earth as long as they do not interfere with the rights of others or of the state.
Inti dari teks tersebut adalah semua orang menikmati hak ini secara setara dan tidak ada yang dapat dirampas darinya. Juga tidak boleh suatu orang didahulukan dari yang lain. Adalah hak semua orang untuk berjuang dan mendapatkan bagian mereka dari sarana rezeki yang disediakan oleh Tuhan di bumi. Sumber daya yang disediakan oleh alam secara cuma-cuma dan yang dapat digunakan secara langsung oleh manusia dapat dimanfaatkan secara bebas dan setiap orang berhak memperoleh manfaat darinya sesuai dengan kebutuhannya. Tetapi tidak ada larangan bagi individu untuk memanfaatkan bumi Tuhan selama mereka tidak menanggung hak orang lain ataupun negara. The grammar user in chapter 1 is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense adalah suatu bentuk kata kerja yang digunakan untuk menyatakan suatu aksi atau situasi yang telah dimulai di masa lalu dan masih berlanjut sampai sekarang atau telah selesai pada suatu titik waktu tertentu di masa lalu, namun efeknya masih berlanjut. Rumusnya, subject plus have or has plus verb 3. Example, God has created for mankind the earth and all that it contains. Adverb yang biasa digunakan untuk mengekspresikan present perfect tense yaitu yet, already, just, ever, never. Dan ketika kita berbicara dengan tindakan-tindakan yang belum selesai atau sebuah situasi tertentu, maka kita bisa menggunakan for and since.
Chapter 2: The Problem of Quality. If we observe the phenomena of nature and God's blessings unto mankind, we find that He has not observed equality in the distribution of His bounties and favors, but in His infinite wisdom has accorded precedence to sonic individuals over others. Beauty of form, pleasantness of voice, excellence of physique and mental talents, etc., have not been granted to men in equal degree. The same is the case with the material means of life. Human nature has been so ordained that divergence, variety and inequality among men in their modes and standards of living seems to be the most natural thing. Variety is the spice of life and the driving spirit behind human effort and excellence. Consequently, all those schemes and ideologies which want to force upon mankind any artificial economic equality are mistaken, unrealistic, and impossible of achievement. The equality in which Islam believes is equality in respect of the opportunities of struggle for securing a livelihood and for climbing the uppermost rung of the ladder of well-being and prosperity. Islam desires that no legal, functional or traditional handicaps should exist in society to prevent an individual from struggling for a living according to his capacity and talent, nor should any social distinctions subsist with the object of safeguarding the privileges of a particular class, race, and dynasty or group of people. All those schemes and ideologies which serve the vested interests or which want to perpetrate the hold of a certain group are repugnant to Islam and can have no place in a scheme of things. Such movements seek to establish, through force and resort to artificial means, an unnatural inequality in place of the natural limited inequality which feeds the springs of incentive to effort in a society. Hence, Islam aims at wiping them out and putting the economic system on the natural footing so that the opportunities of struggle may remain open to all. At the same time, Islam does not agree with those who desire to enforce complete equality in respect of the means of production and 90 the fruits of economic endeavor, as they aim at replacing limited natural inequalities by an artificial equality. Only that system can be the nearest to human nature in which everyone joins the economic struggle at the stage and in the circumstances in which God has created him. He who has inherited an aeroplane should struggle equipped with it, while he who has only a pair of legs should stand on his feet and try to move ahead. The laws of society should neither be such as would establish a permanent monopoly of the aeroplane owner over his aeroplane and make it impossible for the barefooted to acquire an aeroplane, nor such that the race for every one of them should compulsorily begin from one point and under the same conditions, and they should perforce be tied to each right till the end of the race. Contrary to this, the economic laws should be such as to make it possible for the barefooted, who started his race under adverse condition, to secure and possess an aeroplane if he can do so by dint of his struggle and ability, and for him who inherited the aeroplane, to be left behind in the race and be without it if that is due to his own inability.
Inti dari teks tersebut adalah hukum masyarakat tidak boleh sedemikian rupa sehingga membuat monopoli permanen pemilik pesawat terbang atas pesawatnya dan tidak memungkinkan bagi yang bertelanjang kaki untuk memperoleh pesawat terbang atau sedemikian rupa sehingga perlombaan untuk setiap orang dari mereka harus dimulai dari satu titik. Bertentangan dengan ini, hukum ekonomi harus sedemikian rupa sehingga memungkinkan orang yang bertelanjang kaki yang memulai balapannya dalam kondisi yang merugikan untuk mengamankan dan memiliki pesawat terbang jika dia dapat melakukannya dengan perjuangan dan kemampuannya, dan untuk dia yang mewarisi pesawat terbang akan tertinggal dalam perlombaan dan tidak memilikinya jika itu karena ketidakmampuannya atau ketidakefisienannya. The grammar user in chapter 2 is adjective. Adjective adalah kata yang digunakan untuk mendeskripsikan noun atau yaitu kata benda, atau pronouns atau kata ganti yang dapat berupa orang atau person, tempat or place, hewan, animals, benda atau konsep abstrak, thing. Penggunaannya yang pertama, adjective plus nouns. Example, there is a blue car. Yang kedua, be bisa dengan am or is or were plus adjective. Example, the car is blue. Yang ketiga, look or feel or smell or taste or sound plus adjective. Example, she looks happy. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.